We are back in the gym for another arm workout. I've got to say, I feel quite sore from yesterday. It feels nice to change up the routine, add a couple of exercises, change up the volume, and just get a feedback from your body straight away. And I always say this to my client, the soreness isn't really a good indication of whether you had a great workout or not, especially once you're quite a few weeks into the routine, quite a few weeks into the training block. You won't really feel that much soreness, and that's normal because there's an adaptation, and that adaptation is going to bring you to make progress with your lifts. So it is a necessity for us to get adapted to the routine. That's why changing exercises too often is no good. But that little bit of soreness the day after is quite nice. And again, once you're deep into the program, you kind of forget what it's like. So switching things up is going to bring novelty to the stimulus, which is usually the major cause for soreness, aside from a potential increase of volume or increase of intensity. Anyway, I decided to not superset today's workout. So I'm going to do all the exercises separately, mostly because I want to reduce the rest times with the main exercises. So French press first working set. Let's go for it. I am changing up some of the exercises for this session too. Not so much on the tricep side of things. I've been experimenting with my triceps loads in the last few years, and I know that there's definitely some exercises that my body just favorites when it comes to proprioception, being able to connect more, express more intensity, and the French press is definitely one of them. It's been my staple tricep exercise in my arm routine for the last 4 years, I think. Since lockdown, it was basically the only tricep exercise I could really do. It was either that or like a shitty little dumbbell kickback. The most retarded exercise for your triceps. Because muscles get weaker, they are weaker when they shortened. So what you're doing there is using a dumbbell, which is, again, vertical line of resistance, and extending. So this means that basically the peak of contraction is where the muscle is at its weakest. And then down here, when the muscle is being lengthened, you literally get zero resistance, basically zero resistance. So yeah, not a very good exercise. Yes. Okay, back off set. Oh, fuck. Oh, I can definitely feel the shorter rest times. Damn, that makes such a huge difference. Second exercise, double rope tricep push down. Same as usual, pretty standard. Just again, no supersets here. This means the rest times are going to be shorter overall. It's definitely going to be a bit more challenging. So I'm probably keeping exactly the same weight, but I'm not expecting to get as many reps. But we'll see. I might surprise myself. Ah, fuck. I suppose. Yeah. Oh. Oh, fuck. As you guys probably realized, the rest pause a lot. I really do think it's one of the best techniques of intensity you can use. It really helps you accumulate more effective reps. Ah, fuck. Last set is going to be a drop set. Again, starting a little bit heavier. Just going down the stack, essentially. Deloading about 30% at a time. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Third exercise actually is a superset, but with superset, it's more like a mechanical drop set. So it's two exercises back to back, but we're going from an exercise where position on my triceps is lengthened. This means I'm doing essentially the usual overhead tricep extension exercise. And then we're moving on to a push down, but having my back to the stack. So it's got a little bit of a different feeling, a bit more like a push, like a press. And even though my triceps are in a more neutral position, so it's not as lengthened, it's not as stretched as the overhead, there's a lot more stabilization, and this should allow me to get an extra couple of reps. I'm still going to reduce slightly for the second exercise. So even though I'm in a more shortened position, should be able to get anything between 8 to 12 reps. Go slightly lighter, then down and forward. Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, fucking hell. That was good. Crazy pump. So first exercise for the biceps is going to be an easy bar curl. I'm using one of these fixed bars, just for convenience, really. Doesn't make much of a difference. I'm going for a slightly higher rep range, mostly because I'm not used to this movement. I've literally been doing single arm for I don't know how many years, but I purposely want to get stronger on this exercise specifically, with all the compensations that come with it, really. And the issue I have is that my supination is pretty shit. Like, especially after I train triceps, can't really supinate that well. So I want to make sure that using a slightly lighter weight, going for a slightly higher amount of reps, I can still get a great connection with it and I can make the effort to supinate. As you can see, really strict reps, literally no cheating. I'm really focusing on not bringing the elbows out too much. Instead, tucking them in, not to the point that I'm dysfunctional, but just enough to actually get everything in line as much as possible. The good thing about the easy bar is that it's not completely straight, right? So I can still be in a slight neutral position. But obviously, the degree of supination that I have right to left, it is fairly different. So there's still going to be probably a little bit of compensation with this. One tip that I can give you when it comes to training biceps with either barbell, easy bar, or dumbbells is to not think of curling towards the shoulder. Think about pushing the palm up towards the ceiling, almost like you're going into some sort of shoulder press towards the end. Of course, it's not a shoulder press, but there is a degree of shoulder flexion towards the end of the rep. And that's fine because it's going to help you get even more of a squeeze at the top. But the whole point is to not try to bring the palm to the shoulder, but is to bring the palm to the ceiling. The palms are constantly facing up. Fuck. Might have had one more there, but I was at risk of cheating a little bit, leaning back. Don't want to do that today. Not today. I will definitely add some partials or some cheat reps when I'm more familiar with the exercise. Not necessarily playing it safe, just playing it smart, you know. So next exercise is going to be a dumbbell hammer curl on an incline bench. This means that I'm going to slide the hips forward, lean back into it. And the whole point is to keep the front delt in a slight stretch. So the shoulder is slightly extended. This means that my arm are literally behind my body, slightly behind my torso. And so the bicep is really being lengthened. Of course, I'm getting the brachialis and the forearms involved in this as well. That's kind of the whole point of the exercise. What's hard about this is to, again, making sure that my elbows are not coming forward as I'm trying to curl. So I'm keeping them behind the body. That's what makes it a bit harder, but obviously more effective as well. Wanted to show you guys from a different angle what is actually happening. Otherwise, from the front, it's a bit hard to tell. So hips are forward. I'm leaning back into the bench, which is almost upright. Then my elbows stay behind my torso. Keep a proud chest. I'm telling you from the big stretch at the bottom. So the last bicep exercise is going to be this sort of reach and curl machine. I don't even know what to call it, but essentially my arm is going to be quite high up, almost overhead. This means that the front delt is quite in a lot of flexion, and obviously the bicep is really shortened, which means that it's really weak. So technically it's not a very good machine, but I get a really good feeling from it. It feels quite good. There's a nice connection. And obviously it's at the end of the session, so I'm only aiming to do some metabolic work with it. So we're going to be doing 2 double drop sets, starting from the 6 to 10 rep range, and then going down the stack about 30% less each time. Yes. Okay, now. Last one. Fuck. Oh. That's me done. Before you go, one more thought I wanted to leave you guys with today. It's an invitation to get familiar with the repetition. There's beauty in repetition. In fact, without getting too philosophical, there's life in repetition. Life itself is like a spiral that constantly repeats itself. But here's the thing, every time it repeats itself, it's slightly different. And you get the same effect every time you do the same thing over and over again. Each rep of the exercise is similar, but slightly different. Each day is the same 24 hours. It has a similar structure, but it's different. Each season it repeats itself every year, but every time is different. And so do experiences in life. And every time you go through the same thing, the same system, the same experience, the same exercise, you upskill a little bit. You find something new. You discover more about the thing itself and the depth of yourself in it. And if you go through the process consciously, you never get bored of it. Because again, every time it's slightly different. And if you keep your eyes open, your mind open, there's so much you can learn every time. This is to say that maybe the novelty that you're looking for is in the repetition of the thing itself. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, I'm posting 1 vlog a day for an entire year. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.